Pong.
And welcome back to another Casual Friday. I'm your host, Sensei-pong, and originally I was going to post this review earlier this week, but there were some bugs I need to work out on my mobile, and a lot of things came up. Excuses paved the road to failure, and that's technical crap nobody wants to hear. So today I'm reviewing Pac-Man 256 on the Android, also available on iPhone. It's a casual game. This is Casual Friday. Anything casual goes, and I've got a casual review, and Honey Pong don't give a wall about it. So I'm not exactly sure when this was released, but I'll assume it was recent, unless I'm horribly behind on times, like I normally am, but I found the premise intriguing. So I jumped on board, played a little bit, and I need to get a controller for my phone. Now, I've never justified a controller for phones. I've always thought the idea was marketing genius, but thought the attachment absolutely idiotic. Now, I guess if you're a pirate and play ROMs on your phone, sure, maybe sorta, but why do that when you have better options? Like a laptop, computer, I don't know, anything. Unless you're really into Sonic Dash, then okay. But I never thought most games justified a controller for the mobile platform as it is. It just seemed like a waste of money and time. Two things that aren't in surplus in the world I personally live in. But this. Pac-Man 256. Oh, by the way, I got a smartphone last week, first time I ever owned one. And I don't want to sound like I'm behind the times anyway, in the later half of 2015, but I had a flip phone last year, and when that finally broke, I replaced it with a used first-generation BlackBerry. Awesome stuff, really. It was cheap. It had apps like, Notepad, Brick Breaker, and Address Book. But you know what? Podcasts are awesome. Do you guys listen to any of them? There's like literally millions of them to suit the fancy of learning, history, comedy, news, audiobooks, discussion, talk. It's literally entertainment on the go. You can download them on your phone, right off the line. Brilliant. Okay, let's get this straight. I'm not a complete hermit. I've played my fair share of tablet and mobile games, and there's a definite feel to them. They all feel like mobile games to some degree. May it be a lack of depth or that weird 3-star system most mobile and Facebook titles use to artificially lengthen the overall playtime of the game. But whatever it is, I'll be reviewing Pac-Man 256 as a mobile title and rate it accordingly, but at the same time compare it to other Pac-Man titles in the past, as that's what the consumer would expect in getting a Pac-Man game for their phone. Now, Pac-Man 256 doesn't follow in the common vein of past titles, being that instead of running from maze to maze as levels, you run through an endless maze in an almost cross-genre runner, arcade maze game, and action rogue. There are power-ups such as the Flame Trail, Pac-Man, tornadoes, lasers, and, my personal favorite, Freeze and Shatter. Use that the right way strategically, and shabam, you've gained some good ground and possibly a good run on a high Pac-Dot combo. And as far as I can tell, the Android version that I'm playing on can be played completely free without the purchase of credits or coin tokens for leveling up your power-ups. It may be different on iPhones and probably costs between $5 to $30 on the Windows phone. Am I right?
Don't argue with me, I'm your sensei!
Tokens can be obtained in-game slowly or by completing objectives, so I suppose if one really wants to level up their powers quicker or have unlimited credits, you can pay, which overall, seems fair. It's not pay to win like many in most mobile games where to get anywhere you need to pay $10 to $100 for a truly fulfilling experience, which I suppose, at that point, knowing you spent $100 on Candy Crush doesn't seem that fulfilling unless you're like King Games themselves. New ghost personalities have been added and old ghost personalities come back with tweaks on their original form. I've noticed Clyde tends to travel down, choosing to turn right over left at certain points. Inky tends to follow a pattern and wanders in circles, though I have had a couple rare instances where he will chase you purposefully. Pinky sits and waits, and when you're in eyeshot, speeds towards you quickly. Blinky, as before, will go straight for you when you're in proximity. The new ghosts include Spunky, the black ghost, who sleeps alone until you're near, which then he wakes and chases you directly until he tires and falls asleep. Spunky, the green ghost, travels in packs of 3 to 4 and wanders left to right, and Sue, who likes Spunky, also travels in packs, moving left to right, but will move towards you slowly. Personally, I find Sue the most annoying, as she and her buds tend to block the paths I need to pass, which at some point, unluckily, any number of the other ghosts will get me. Oh, and then there's Glitchy, who scatters and warps via glitch text, and similar to Blinky, when near will chase you. Then finally, but not least, the most intimidating of all the enemies is the glitch itself. The more you know. In the original Pac-Man, the game was designed to be an endless run of levels, but as some people became unhealthily good at the game, people found a glitch that ultimately stopped them from passing level 256. In a nutshell, a bug in the programming that helped count the levels and place fruit accordingly would reset and attempt to place all the fruit in level 256 and confuse the program, at which point covering the right half of the screen with text gibberish and maze parts. In Pac-Man 256, the glitch is back as the main protagonist, though you'll find yourself probably dying by the other ghosts. The glitch slowly creeps from the bottom, consuming the screen, forcing you to press on, similar to a roguelike indie game titled One Way Heroics, where the player is constantly forced to move east, or be consumed by the darkness of the abyss. If Pac-Man gets too far into the glitch, he dies, and the glitch swarms the screen, ending your game. One nice aesthetic that the programmers had put in is that as the glitch creeps closer, a good element of urgency is added with the screen, slightly fuzzing with a static sound, as if an Arcadio Apocalypto scenario would unfold if you dare to get too close to that glitch. I honestly found myself getting nervous if I was cornered by the ghosts and the glitch behind my tail. This creates a nice feel of tension that Pac-Man normally doesn't offer in the original games. Okay, well, sometimes it does, with Inky, Blinky, and Pinky chasing you, and then Clyde coming out of nowhere and running into you haphazardly. Ads on the Android version are at a minimum to the point where it's negligible to discuss. Unlike some titles where an ad may play halfway through a play session, ads are almost optional for extra coins, so in the end, there's barely any, which is nice and doesn't feel like anything you don't want is shoved down your throat. Now, one minor complaint that I have with Pac-Man 256 is the credit system. So I understand that Namco Bandai and Hipster Whale, creators of Crossy Road, need to make money somehow, so some DLC and in-shop purchases are, well, expected. You're given a maximum of 6 credits in free play, and power-ups are only playable in the game if a credit is used to start a game or continue. If a credit is not used, then it proceeds to a game session without power-ups beyond your basic power pellets. To obtain more credits freely, you're forced to wait 10 minutes for each token until your meter is full, or obtain them rarely through surprise gifts via completing achievements. So, really, it's just a matter of impatience if you want to do a long game session. It's not that bad. Now, to be completely fair, this isn't a bad deal. Namco Bandai and Hipster Whale could have easily made the credit deal worse and milk that money machine as hot as they wanted to. But they didn't. And with that, I'm glad they're not King Games, Zynga, Ubi hard on EA, copyrighting a common word like the and forcing you to pay for it to have fun. It's refreshing to see a bigger game company being generous with the in-game shop, and if you were to purchase unlimited coins, the price from what I heard isn't really that obscene. It's essentially buying the unlimited, unrestrained game for, I think, under $10. Oh, that's right, I'm playing on a phone. One really dumb complaint I have that's, easily fixed is the controls. It's a touchscreen game, which means there's no buttons or joystick, which is something I prefer in terms of Pac-Man. This is making me feel old, but since it is a touchscreen, you swipe in the direction that you want Pac-Man to go. You can also preemptively swipe in the direction before a turn as you plan your route. Now, this is great, controls are responsive and awesome, but I just don't like swiping my screen. It's intuitive for a touchscreen, sure, but for a game like this, I'll circle back to what I said before. Those gaming phone controls are looking real party about now. Okay, at some point I'll probably post a let's play of this title when I can work out the kinks of my mobile recording toolkit, if you really want me to. My current high score is over 9,000, and will probably get better with time as I thresh out my skills a bit more. Overall, I had lots of fun with the Pac-Man 256 and I'm happy to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Packster with such a fun little title. All I want now is a cabinet version at the movie theater or my local arcade. That'd be freaking awesome. In the end, Pac-Man 256 gets an honorable 9 out of 10. It's not incredibly deep, but offers great Pac-Man gameplay, strategy, and good twist on the formula. For the most part, it's actually free, unlike many quote-unquote free games on the mobile, and won't waste your time with an army of ads. It's a must-play for any mobile gamer or fan of the Pac-Man series. Stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe. sensei-pong signing out. One nice aesthetic the programmers had put in is that as the glitch English.